Right, fam. So let's look at a inverse H&S example inside the chart. Okay, so here we can clearly see that we came from a nice bearish trend towards the downside, but now I want to bring to your attention the following. Right, look at this. Price literally created a lower low right over there, and price found itself having a lovely shift back towards the upside. So if we can look at this high right over here, if I can box it out just like that, can you guys see that here we found ourselves creating that lift leg? This will be your head, this will be your right leg, right? So check this out. If I can find myself boxing out this right there, boom, right? Price found itself creating a lower low. We broke back above our previous area of support, right? Failed to create another actual lower high to continue towards the downside. Instead, price came all the way back up, back into our previous area of resistance, right? Rejected from our area of resistance right there. Where did we came back into? We came back into the area we faked out from, and this will literally be the left shoulder, which is currently serving as an area of support. Now inside an area of support, you want to find yourself looking for what? You want to find yourself looking for some lovely buying opportunities. Right now, if I can just remove this right there, right, left head, right shoulder, after price found itself breaking above the neckline, what do you expect to happen next? You expect price to have a push back into the neckline so that you can find yourself looking for some lovely long opportunities. And there you guys can see price literally came back into the neckline, and there is where we found ourselves having a lovely shift back towards the upside, right? Where would your targets be? You target your nearest high, which will literally be from this region all the way up to that region right there, all these beautiful highs which we find ourselves creating right there. So that is a nice example of an inverse H&S. Now let's look at a head and shoulder. Okay, boom. Now let's look at an H&S formation. Now look at this once again. We are coming from a lovely bullish market right over here, right? What did price find itself doing? Price literally created this area of previous resistance, right? So after price broke above, what should happen, right? We are supposed to come back inside this area and have a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? But can you guys see how price literally failed to do that? Price literally came back below, came into where our previous area of support right over there, bounce off, and where do you expect price to have some sort of a turning point? Literally the area to where we faked out from. So we literally faked out from this area of resistance right there, failed to keep it as an area of support for further continuation move towards the upside. Price broke below, came back into it, and there we had the actual shift back towards the downside, right? Now, once we had that shift towards the downside, where did price find itself breaking out from, right? This right there is the break of the neckline of our H&S. Can you guys see that this will now literally be our left shoulder, this would be our head, and this right there will be our right shoulder. Right after price breaks below, what do you wait for next? You wait for price to pull back into the neckline. And can you guys see how price found itself pulling back into the neckline? And there is where we had a lovely shift back towards the downside, where you can target your lows right there. Right over here, you can see with this nice one bear candle, right, price immediately found itself coming back into the neckline as well, which could have been a nice entry over there as well for a nice shift back towards the downside. But ultimately, price found itself coming back overall back inside this neckline and had a lovely rejection back towards the downside, right? And that is how your inverse and H&S formations look like inside the market, right? Like I made mention, I want to see my H&S and inverse H&S formation or patterns form textbook, right? This right there, that is textbook. If it looks otherwise, I am not considering it as a H&S or an inverse H&S. I hope you guys have a clear understanding. Let's go to the next slide. I'm out.